What are your thoughts on Mike Mentzer's view on things? One set to failure, rest periods, frequency of training, and other aspects of bodybuilding. I know why you asked this question because I can't go onto my Instagram feed without going a few videos and seeing that guy with his glasses and his mustache spitting out some hardcore facts. And I've had a lot of clients message me asking me the same. So what I'm going to say about Mike Mentzer's training routine and his whole philosophy is, does it work? Yes, it does. It's a great philosophy to train by. It's really good for packing on muscle. It's really good for doing time efficient workouts. And it really reduces, right, the bullshit that people do that they think they'll grow muscle. I myself right now am training very close to the way that Mike Mentzer prescribes. But here's what I'll say to you. The Mike Mentzer way of training is a way of training that I honestly believe you can only do if you are an advanced bodybuilder, not even an advanced athlete. You would never on earth have any athlete from any discipline outside of bodybuilding train the way Mike Mentzer prescribed. It just won't fucking work, right? Because as an athlete, you're trying to develop a whole different sort of physique, sort of physicality. But when we talk about muscle growth, right, what a lot of people don't realize is that more is less. Less is more. That's the truth. And the problem that I have with a lot of people is that when you're going to go in and do one set, you have to take that muscle to absolute failure, right? To get the truth of those gains. Now, the problem is a lot of people will go and train like that and they'll use heavy enough weight to fail, but they won't exhaust the target muscle because they don't have the connection with the muscle. They don't have the control with the weight. So their sort of efforts are wasted. For a lot of, I don't want to sound offensive here, but for a lot of newbies and even intermediate guys, the only way that we can really start to fatigue that muscle, break down that muscle tissue is actually through volume, right? Which is just, to be honest with you, been proven to be just as effective, right? So the reason why I'll have guys who do Mike Mentzer type training, but these are my most advanced of guys, right? Who are incredibly strong, right? Are able to really control a weight, right? And able to actually take their muscle to failure. You'll see guys doing a Mike Mentzer routine, doing a bench press, and they're not going to muscular failure. They're going to failure with weight, but that isn't real muscular failure that they're going to, right? But you can see there's no control in there. The reps are not great quality, right? And it's not like a case of on that last rep that you can see the target muscle just pushing through it. It took me years to get to that level. So I now can go into the gym and I can exhaust my biceps, I can exhaust my triceps, I can exhaust my chest, I can exhaust my shoulders, my back, my legs, right? With only just a couple of working sets. But to get to that took me a long time. And I think that's the thing that people miss out on. So what I would say with the Mike Mentzer philosophy is that he's absolutely bang on with what he's saying. You can make tremendous gains training that way, but it takes a lot of mental focus. Like you have to be really, really focused. If you're going to go in there and you're literally going to just go through a few sets, every single one of those sets has got to count and they've got to be in progress to the previous week, right? So you've got to be on a whole different mentality. A lot of people are not zoned in like that. They're not. They're going into the gym and they're worrying about a million other things. They're not just solely focused on each set and just going all in on that set. Secondly, a lot of people just don't have that ability yet, right? So they've got to build that connection up with the muscle through volume. They've got to learn how to fatigue the target muscle through volume. It's a lot safer. It's a lot more effective. So that's really sort of my sort of synopsis on the Mike Mentzer. Like I say, I train very similar right now, but I know if I gave, like, I'll just be real with you. I know if I gave most of you guys my routine, you'd look at it and you think, what the fuck is this guy giving me? He's doing, so like, I'll give you an example. Let's go from I just done push. I just done a push routine, right? I'll tell you what I done. Number one exercise, flat barbell bench press to the maximum weight that I could do between 4 and 6 reps, one set all out, right? So only 2 sets to warm up. After that, I'm ready pretty warm. I know what weights I've got to use next. I go to an inclined dumbbell bench press. I do the same thing. Like 2 warm-up sets, 1 set to failure. I do the finish off with the dumbbell flies, flat bench dumbbell flies. Again, the same thing. Same thing with triceps, same thing with shoulders. 3 exercises per body part, and only realistically 3 working sets per body part. But I'm in a position where I can truly, truly exhaust that target muscle with such low volume, right? Because I know how to generate intensity in my muscle. Like I will tell you, when I finish my bench press, my whole chest is full of blood. The whole thing is like already, I know that I couldn't push any more weight. Like that last rep, it wasn't about of trying to push the weight up with my arms, with my like pushing through my backside, pushing my legs. It was just the chest that was squeezing and finishing it. Same thing with the triceps. Everything is real slow. Not like you're counting it, but just you're working through the muscle. The only thing that's moving that way is the contraction and the stretch of the muscle. And here's the interesting thing. As you get stronger and you get better control of your muscle, you'll know intrinsically that you can use less volume because you'll start to find that you can destroy the muscle in far fewer sets. That's what happened to me. As I got stronger, as I got bigger, I knew I could do that. A great example is Dexter. Dexter's able to tear down a muscle in minimal volume. I go and give that to a newbie. He's not really going to make the same results. He's got to have just a little bit more volume to get accustomed with the exercises to really build that muscle to mind connection, really build that control, and really get familiar with being able to take his target muscle to failure. So that's really my take on it. Yosso, do you want to add anything to that?
I think our thought is exactly the same on that. So because I don't want to just reiterate and repeat what Afsa said, it would just be a waste of everyone's time. But I'll go through one of my kind of similar routines that I've done for upper body, and it doesn't necessarily work for every body part. Like I could never really train my legs like that. I need a lot of volume spread across the session, right? So for me, is high reps, high weight for my legs, right? And that's what always made my legs grow. And with clients in the past and present, when leg growth is on one of their goals, you tend to see higher volume and higher weights work. But for upper body, I think it works really well. But a typical session, it's exactly what you said it looks like. And if you give that to a newbie, someone who's not advanced in it, they'd literally feel like they've done nothing.
Yeah.
It literally feel like they've done nothing. Like an example could be, even the sets that precede your working set, they're not high reps. They're not necessarily high weight. All you're doing is getting yourself and your body accustomed, the movements, everything kind of aligned to do that one heavy set. So an example might be, like you said, I've said bench press. Let's say you can bench press 140, for example. The first set, 60 kg for 3 reps. The second set, 100 kg for 2 reps. The third set, 110 kg for 1 rep. That's your warm up. Yeah. And then you are banking everything on that one set. Your predominant focus is on that one set at the end of every exercise that you're doing. And if you give that to someone who's never trained before, who is relatively new in the gym, who actually, I would argue, could grow off literally fucking just looking at a bar, right? They ain't going to enjoy it. They're just going to feel like it's a waste of time, because it takes time to build that kind of relationship up with training and that kind of understanding with your body and how it works and how it moves. And it's not something that you can adopt from the get-go. And I'd never, ever suggest it to someone to adopt from the get-go.